Hello, my beautiful rainbow people. Welcome back to Count Out for Freedom. Countdown to 420. 4 days to go till 420. The Zionite New Year. Zionite meaning everybody who gets high. Because everybody who gets high is a Zionite according to the prophecy of the Old Testament of the King James Version of the Bible, which is what I call the Book of Zion. Yeah, the Book of Zion is the prophecy in a book form. I took apart the prophecy of the Old Testament and rearranged it. After reading the question, who will put this in order for us? So I did. And it became the Book of Zion. I found contained within it a set of instructions that I was uniquely qualified to undertake. And by uniquely qualified, I mean that I fulfill in every way, shape, and form the 54th chapter of the book of Isaiah. That being able to say that's me gives me the right to attempt the prophecy, which is what I did. I put together the prophecy from the testimony of the prophets, and then I followed the instructions that was given to me. The instructions stated that I was to follow in the footsteps of Moses, to stand up for my people's rights to use drugs, to, in a sense, reenact the Exodus of the Zionite people from the United States of America, following in the footsteps of Moses as Israel exited Egypt long ago. And just as the people of Israel were allowed to go into the wilderness to meet with their God, we are going to stage a similar event. The prophecy says that if I and my people, my rainbow people, my beautiful rainbow children, gather to our tents to protest the war on drugs and police brutality, the corporate takeover of America, then if we hold a solemn assembly and we pledge to allow God to teach us His ways, His laws, and if we are willing to abide by them, we who use drugs will become the priests of Israel, the priests of the Great, interpreters, telepathic communicators with an alien race. The prophecy fulfilled. First contact. I love it. I'm a Trekkie. Have been since the 60s. Get into Star Wars too, just so you know. Not as much, but still. So I've always had a fascination with the concept of aliens. And my studies into religion led me to the ancient alien theory because it's evident. If you look at the evidence plainly, without embellishing it with modern concepts, you find aliens as gods because the word itself, God, means those who from the heavens came. That's what God means. So every time you say God, you mean alien. God, the aliens, came to Earth, created us using their own DNA in their own image. And then they had to leave. They promised to return. And they left a detailed set of instructions for the specific person who they would put into a position to do this. I am that person because I gave myself to God to serve Him first in 1979 when I was 17 years old. And I did it with the specific intent to end the pain and suffering of others. The prayer went something like this: God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, please hear my prayer. I know I'm not worthy of you. I'm not even Jewish. But I am in so much pain. I'm going crazy. Please don't let me go crazy. Please help me. Help me deal with this horrific sexual abuse that I'm dealing with. This childhood sexual abuse. It's just driving me crazy. Save me. Who can I love? Who can take this pain from me and make me feel beautiful and clean? Who can heal me of this terrible pain? If you will help me, God, I promise I dedicate my whole life to serving you, to help end the pain and suffering of others, because I may not be worthy, but they are. If you will help end my pain and suffering, I will help you end the pain and suffering of others. And I cried myself to sleep. And I had a dream. And in that dream, I was on a roller coaster ride with a man that my horrific trauma had just completely erased from my memory for 9 months. And just having him there in that dream gave me hope and despair at the same time, because I was 1,000 miles away from him and had no way of ever being with him again. Less in a month, I spent the night with him. God had seen fit to not only answer that prayer with that dream, but to arrange it so that that dream was actualized, so that I would know that God was real, that he, my beloved Kenny, was the chosen one, and that God was real, that had answered my prayer, and I was bound to serve God. And so I have my entire life. And I have communicated with God through this prayer mechanism, where I would pray and then an answer would come in some form, until my life advanced to a point where I crossed the threshold of mundane humanity and became a gray telepath. And that was when they started to speak to me. I went crazy. But by the time I went crazy, I was well familiar with them. They had saved my life. They had saved my sanity. They had made endless miracles happen. And so when they began to speak, I did not fear them. When the darker voices spoke and tried to get me to do crazy, stupid shit, my long relationship with the gray, with my God, gave me the moral standing to know better and to reject that darkness, to push that darkness away and never embrace it. And then, when my pain was sufficiently healed and I was capable of doing so, I began to study the Bible. I had spoken, it's like all of this time I had been dealing with the God of Israel, and so the God of Israel was the Bible's God. And so I studied the Bible. And after reading it about 5 times, I said, hey, God, would you please help me figure this out, because it's just too confusing. And then I read this passage that said that the temple of God would be a house of prayer for all people. My first big clue. So I took 5 years, and I studied all of the religions on planet Earth, because I had to have a temple that was able to serve all religions on the planet. So then, after I had done all of that, I went back and read the Bible again. And it was a totally different book, because my study of the other religions had opened my mind up in so many ways. And when I read the fallacy of Christianity, I saw it for what it was. The fallacy of Christianity. A fabled lie, an idol in the form of a cross, adhered to by fools. And I was no longer a Christian. And that's when the Bible opened up to me. Because that was when I found the second passage that changed my life and set everything in motion. And that was a simple phrase: who will put this in order for me? And in my studies, I had come across passages such as line by line, precept by precept, here a little bit, there a little bit, so that no one would be able to understand. Oh, I'll put that in order, I thought. So I did. And that's when I created the Book of Zion and found the prophecy of Israel and the instructions that had been left specifically for me to enact. And those instructions were rather simple. Create the Temple of Zion, a house of prayer for all people. Establish yourself in a court of law for the use of marijuana in regards to your religion, and do it without the use of money. Go to prison. Publish a book. And then take to your tents. When you take to your tents, you will create a nation in a day, and a controversy that will span the time of a year. And you will bring about first contact with aliens, a new society, a new nation, the nation of Zion, a new future for humanity, intergalactic membership into a Star Trek Federation type society based on mutual cooperation and benefits and trade. And all of it simply by taking to our tents. Now, I did everything already up to taking to my tent. So, I'm attempting for the first time to create the nation of Zion in 4 days. So, if you want to see the prophecy actualized to the shock and awe of the United States of America, all the wealthy people all over the world who are going to just go, it's going to be their downfall. So if you want to help me change the world, meet me in York, Nebraska, the crossroads of America, where Interstate 80 and the Intercontinental Highway 81 here in York meet. And we will pitch tents all over town with signs stating all of our grievances with the United States of America. And by staying in our tents, we will social distance. I require all my people to wear masks. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't bother coming. Because in Zion we understand that COVID-19 is real and deadly, an act of nature against humanity. If you want to survive, wear a mask, get a vaccine, and come camping with me. We will social distance in our tents, and we will air our grievances to the world. And when enough of us get together that the media is brought in, then I will announce the prophecy. It's the guidelines of the prophecy, everything that I have done to create the nation of Zion. And I will announce the nation of Zion. Everybody who gets high and doesn't make enough money to be comfortable. Everyone who works hard for a living and gets nothing for it from this government. So may the Great watch over you, guide you, protect you, keep you from all harm, and teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light the uniform way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make it your guild choice when we get to Camp Zion. Join me in 4 days. Celebrate the Zionite New Year and make our first attempt for freedom to become the prophetic nation of Zion. If you stay happy, if you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. That's why I'm doing this. My name is Zion. I love you way too much to say goodbye. See you in 4 days. Love you. Never say bye. Always say later.